days or so, maybe a little bit over that. Our effort is to develop grassroots activity, just like we're doing here tonight, in support of natural gas development throughout the region. We want to provide a backup support to all of you in the work that you're doing and respond to some of this nonsense that's out there. And we're basically covering 18 counties in New York and Pennsylvania, which you can see up here, and it's the heart of the Marcellus drilling region in the Northeast. Because what's happening up here, some of the very best wells are in Bradford County, which is one of our counties. Susquehanna County, some of the best producing wells in the entire country. As a matter of fact, just a little tidbit, I'm going to show you one picture from one well site that produces more gas than the Cabot has in 30,000 wells in West Virginia. One well. So it's an amazing producer. So this tells you what the capacity is within this region as a whole. And it varies from here to there, and we'll talk a little bit about that too. Now, going into my role, I want to talk about the economics a little bit. And some of you have seen this slide before. We've used it a couple of other places. And it shows the Delaware River Basin Commission area, which is the yellow in the middle of the map. It doesn't show up great on the screen here, but you can kind of see the yellow running up through there, starting with the Delaware Bay and running up. And then there's red at the top, which is the sort of the Marcellus area in a kind of a global way that within that. And so you can see it's basically just literally the top of the Delaware River Basin Commission, and it really represents parts of 3 counties, well, maybe 4. Primarily Wayne, Delaware, and Sullivan, and a little bit of Broome. But that little bit of Broome is where some of the best stuff is, too. So some of these guys may talk about that. And that area, those 3 counties, represent about 180,000 people, 70,000 households, and it only has a $44,000 median household income, which is relatively low. It's growing by only 1/4% per year, which means it's really not growing, to speak of. It has a 43-year median age, which means we're pretty darn old. We are not as young as we would like to be compared to other areas. It means we've got some challenges. We also have declining school enrollment. I don't need to tell you, Noel's here, we're in this school. You all know the story of this school. It doesn't have enough students to fill the school the way it should be filled, and it's created a tremendous economic burden. And it's not just here. It's everywhere throughout our region. This is happening. We also have more than 50% services employment, which means these are generally lower paying jobs. We have a busted construction industry. I don't need to tell any of you, there's not much happening if you're in the construction industry right now. And we have a collapsing agricultural base. All these things are self-evident facts, and they're why we need to do something. And when we look at this, we compare this upper region, what I call the Tri-County region, with the mid-basin and the lower basin, just kind of artificially dividing the DRBC region into 3. We can see on the left-hand side, the column, that's our average household income, which was $54,000 last year. It was 64% higher in the mid-basin, which means the Allentown area, Trenton, where the DRBC is headquartered, and all those places, they have a 64% higher income than we do. And the lower basin, which is down by the bay, that's 30% higher. So when they tell us about, all the concerns that they have, well, we have some concerns too. Our concerns are our subpar incomes compared to theirs. They've made it. We haven't yet, and we deserve to. This chart, John will get into, the 2 Johns will get into this. This kind of shows you where the Marcellus Shale is. And of course, it comes over and picks up the 3 counties I talked about. There's a somewhat of a debate as to how much of it is Sullivan's in it. If any of you want to question that, we'll be happy to talk about it. But it comes into the northern part of northwestern part of Sullivan County, includes parts of Delaware County, Wayne County, and Broome County, and it's right on the edge, so to speak. Now, what are the benefits of this? First of all, the payments to landowners are what are covering the carrying cost associated with land. I know some of you in this audience are out there saying, I want to keep my land. But if I don't have some kind of income, pretty soon I'm not going to be able to do it. And that's just a hard reality. And yet we look over on the right-hand side, this is a picture from Dimmick, that horrible industrialized place where all these awful things have happened. Pretty beautiful site, and there's a pipeline running right through that property. You can't even see it. There's a couple of horses standing on top of it if you have sharp eyes. So we know this is compatible. landscape, is by having a source of economic capital that we can use to maintain that open space. And to recapitalize the farm, where somebody wants to stay in farming, they can recapitalize it or develop other resources, tourism, that kind of thing, using that land. And we know that leasing alone in Wayne County, we know that poured in probably a couple $100 million there, and I would guess here in Sullivan County, it could be an equal amount of money that would come in once we get something going here. So this is major money, major infusion. We also know the royalty income could easily be another $30 to $50 million a year of income for county farmers and other large landowners. We know that the gas wells can be drilled safely. These two guys are going to talk about that. We know it can be done. The industry, contrary to what some of the newspaper reports tell you, has a terrific track record. Are there issues? Of course there are issues. But overall, a darn good track record. And finally, let's not forget, this is a source of energy. When we talk about the need to maintain energy independence, this is a source of energy that's close to the urban markets. And a lot of the people who are complaining today will be very happy when they get low-cost gas.